Fear.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Probably I'm gonna go to work soon, and I don't see this really good, so I'm
Okay.
scared.
All right. So what do you fear? What's the fear about? So what are you frightened of?
Like 2 days ago, I went to the doctor, and I see how she was with the kind of protection, the mask plus that whatever called the plastic on the face, and the gown and everything, and the secretary too. Okay, now I have to go to work with nothing, just mask, touch people, work with them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see this safe. Like, what's going on? I don't understand.
Okay, so let's look at this in pieces. So in the first instance, from what I can make out, from what we know, is it's about not touching your face and having the mask and all of that, and washing your hands, right? So there are precautions you take that everybody takes. Now, what's the worst that can happen if you do get sick? What are you particularly worried about?
I can die.
You can die. And
I
what's wrong
can.
with dying?
I don't want to die.
Okay.
I'm young to die. I don't want to die. I have so much, I don't know, to do, to prove. I don't know.
Okay. So now let me ask you this. What do you think happens when you die? Because different people think different things. So,
I'm thinking about my kids.
but what do you think will happen to you when you die? What do you think happens after you die?
Oh, I will be there, whatever, with no feelings. Just like ghost flying, whatever. It's like what
And
I know that is nice. You don't have that bad feelings. You're
right.
just flowing. Yeah, it's okay. But I'm worried here about my kids.
Okay. So now I'm going to point out a link, a very interesting link. So during this pandemic, you've been at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've not been very happy at home because it feels like you're just stuck at home, right? Is that
Not
right?
exactly. I'm okay home. Yeah,
Okay.
it's good.
Okay. So tell me what you were not enjoying about being at home. Like before when we spoke about it, you
A
said
little bit too boring.
boring.
Like
Yeah.
you're losing that socializing with people. It's like
Right.
you're more close in a
Yeah.
little
Right.
thing.
Okay. So you were worried about, you weren't happy being at home, and then about going back to work, but you weren't happy with going back to work. And now you're not happy about dying. So there's a little bit of a theme there where wherever you are, you're thinking about what you're not happy about, and you're wanting something else, but then when you get the thing that, you know what I mean? So when you
I'm
die,
confused now.
okay, I'll explain it. So when you die, according to what you believe, you'll be absolutely fine. It'll be nice, right?
Yeah, like no worries, right?
Are very good. So so there's nothing to fear there, right? Nothing to fear after you die. It's going to be nice.
I hope so. I don't know.
All right. So what's actually happening is, regardless of, and this is, I know I said this to you before, that regardless of what happens, your programming is to feel fear or not wanting it. And that isn't to do with what you're experiencing, that's to do with the references. So for example, if you remember, I said, what will happen? So you want this to end, what's going to happen next? And you said, well, I'll go back to work, right? So you wanted the lockdown to end, but the ending of the lockdown meant you go back to work, right? Do you get that? Do you get that connection there?
Yes.
Okay. But now that you're going back to work, you don't want that because you're scared of getting the virus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now but you're not worried about dying, because when you die, you're going to be fine. It's going to feel good. So, but now you're looking at, but you don't want to die because you don't want to leave. You don't want to leave what's here, but what's here, you're not enjoying it. So your subconscious is creating stress chemicals regardless of what's going on. It's creating chemicals that feel like fear and dissatisfaction or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And your conscious mind is looking for reasons for those feelings. So you get the feelings, and then your conscious mind says it's because I want this lockdown to end. It's been going on too long, and whatever that was. Then the lockdown, or it does end, and you go back to work. Now those feelings are being interpreted as I'm scared to go back to work because of the virus and getting ill and dying. Then you think, okay, well, it's not bad to die. It's I don't believe that it's anything bad will happen. So now these feelings must be because of leaving stuff behind, and I'm too young, and whatever else. So it feels really real, but what's actually happening is your conscious mind is being controlled by the feelings in your body, the emotions, and your conscious mind is just looking for things. So if the virus suddenly went away and everything was fine and everything was safe, your conscious mind would find something else, some other reason for these fears.
Oh gosh.
Right? Until you change the references. Because the fears, the feelings are coming from those childhood references. So until those are changed and you practice the new ones, and then of course you keep choosing your focus in the moment, that's just the pattern. And we all have that. So that's how we work. That's how we as humans work. So it's not about going back to work, and it's not about the virus, and it's not about how much protection you have or don't have. Because I suspect that if you had all the protection that the doctor has, there'd be a different feeling. There'd be a different reason for feeling bad. So it would be, how am I supposed to work, and all that? It's too hot. I feel smothering.
Exactly. I can't wear the mask. I'm choking.
There you go. So there'll always be something until you change those references. And then once you change those references, that's what's so brilliant. Once you change those references to the point where you've practiced them, they're established, then it doesn't matter. You wear a mask, you don't wear a mask, you wear the outfit, you don't wear the outfit, somebody, you go back to work, you don't go back to work. None of that matters, because the feelings are happening inside.
So I guess I have so much fear because I cleaned so much fear already, but still there. It's like just fear, fear, fear. Like, I don't know what to do with this stuff.
Now I want to ask you something. The fear you feel now, is it the same, more or less, that you felt when we first started on the 30th of March with these sessions?
Oh, it's less. It's less. It's fear with worries now, like less fear, but kind of worry.
Right. Okay. Very good. Now, what do you do when you feel the fear? What do you do in your mind when you feel the fear? So you think about going back to work and everything that entails, and you feel the fear, and what do you think about?
Somebody might come with the virus, and I'm gonna get the virus.
Right.
It's obvious. It's normal. For sure. I'm sure it will happen.
Okay. So as you think that, you're pumping more stress chemicals into your system, and you're amping up the fear. And then that thought leads to another thought, like, oh, whatever's next. So when you think about that, then what's next? What do you think next?
I'm thinking like my boss, she said yesterday, like, weekend will be great if we go back to work, like something government is doing, like maybe we're gonna go back to work. And there is like, the hospitals are prepared for that. And I say, yeah, sure. Doesn't matter if they are ready or not. Some people might die anyway.
Right. And so again, pumping more stress chemicals.
Exactly. Yes.
Leveling it up. All right. So this is great, though. This is good. So we're finding the roots here. So the first thing is to not allow it to get that far. And I know it can be difficult in the moment, but that's what we're doing here. We're practicing, right? We're practicing controlling the brain and body chemistry. So make a promise to yourself that you will not allow yourself to go down that route, because you thinking about getting ill, somebody could come in who has the virus and then I'm going to get the virus. And even if the hospitals are prepared, that's not going to help. You thinking all of that is not going to get rid of the virus, and it's not going to make you safe. It's absolutely not going to make you safe, right? So you might as well choose the opposite, because it's not going to make you any safer. But choosing the opposite could make you safer for two main reasons. Number one, boosting your immune system, because your immune system is boosted by oxytocin, which you produce when you think of someone you love. And number two, your prefrontal cortex will be online more of the time, which means your awareness and your strategy will be available, which means you'll be taking better precautions. You'll remember to take precautions. You won't be in a panicky state and forget to wash your hands or touch your face or whatever it is, You'll notice things and go, oh, hold on, that's not right. I'm going to, we need to take action, whatever that is. So that's two huge reasons for maintaining that state of love in spite of the fear and the circumstances. So the way we want to do that is we'll target it today. So Steve, if you could add it to the list. Thank you. We'll target it today. And in addition to that, I want you to make a promise to yourself that whenever you notice the fear, no matter how strong it is, no matter how convincing it is, no matter all the reasons, you will immediately go into the superpower state and love the fear.
Okay.
All right, love the fear. And if you can't feel the love, that's okay. Just decide that you love the fear. Set that intention. Well, I love the fear. Okay, because that will help to diffuse it. And keep reminding yourself, what you want to do to keep safe is keep those feel-good chemicals up in your body and your brain. Does that help?
Okay, yes, thank you.
Good. You're very welcome.
I'm doing okay, and I have to say I'm confused now. Like yesterday I was scared I'm not going to be protected enough at work.
Yeah.
And I listened to one of the nurses how the mask is not really good for us. So now I'm not comfortable work with the mask, so I'm confused. I don't know what is good for me, what is not good for me.
Okay, very good. And this has been, I've seen people posting about this. I've seen it. There's a lot of people who are confused and all of that. Now, I don't know enough about it to be able to tell you from a medical or scientific point of view whether a mask is good or not. I don't have enough information on that. But what I can tell you is that the way you feel is going to affect your judgment and your ability to decide what's best for you. So, and it's going to affect any information you do get is going to be filtered through fear or confusion, and your prefrontal cortex will be offline. So here's what I want to suggest. So remind yourself, first of all, that this thing about the masks, whether you wear a mask or you don't wear a mask, some people, regarding any of that information, some people get angry, some people get frightened, some people get confused, some people don't pay any attention at all. So what makes the difference of all of that is what references you have and where you're putting your focus. So when you think about the masks, whether you wear a mask or you don't wear a mask, and you see this information that seems confusing, as you feel that confusion, you're taking your prefrontal cortex offline. So you're not able to think straight. So what you want to do is, before you start looking at the information, get into the superpower state and aim, and we'll do it today. If Steve, if you could add it to the target list and send that, once you're in the superpower state, send that unconditional love to you at work, whether you're wearing a mask or not, whether it's good for you or not. Love the whole lot anyway, because then you're keeping your prefrontal cortex online, and then you will be able to, you won't be confused anymore because you'll have that part of your brain online. Does that make sense?
Yes, I was doing this exercise yesterday and today too, because I have no choice, like what I can do. Whatever will be, will be. I have to go and work. I cannot be forever at home, right?
And here's the thing as well, is that what I can tell you is whatever the, whatever people are saying one way or another, what you do have control over is how whatever it is affects you. So if you wear a mask or you don't wear a mask, and if it's dangerous or it's not dangerous, is determined more by the state you are in, your emotional state, than by the information from those people or the facts. So let's say you wear a mask and let's say that's true, that it's bad for you to wear a mask. As long as you are staying in that feel-good state, which means your prefrontal cortex is online and the stress chemicals are down in your system and you've got oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins in your system, number one, your body is in the healthiest state it can be in. So your immune system is boosted and your cells are getting the blood flow they need, and your organs are getting the blood flow they need, and so on. So you're in physically the strongest state you can be in, the healthiest state you can be in. Secondly, your prefrontal cortex is online, which means you have access to your cognitive thinking, which means you'll work it out. You'll make a decision. So you may think, oh, I don't need to do this because I can do that. Or I know, I'll do a different activity, or I can, if I do it this way, you'll figure out solutions and you'll see opportunities that you cannot see without that part of your brain online. Does that make sense?
That has sense, yeah.
Good. And you'll also be able to communicate more effectively and negotiate more effectively. So let's say that you get yourself into that feel-good state and you decide, you know what, this is not right for me. I don't want to do this strategically, not because I'm frightened, not because you're emotionally triggered, but just you decide this is not what I want to do. Then you'll be able to speak to people or negotiate or whatever and find solutions, because your communication will be improved as well, because that's also part of the prefrontal cortex.
Yeah, but what I know, I cannot just make decision my own. I have to wear mask at work. I cannot take it off.
Right. But there will be a way, because as long as you are not buying into the drama, as long as you are holding your state, that positive state, that not just positive, but that superpower state, there will, and if you don't think of it, something will happen. Like somebody will come up with a solution, or you'll suddenly be sent home for whatever reason. No, we can't. Things will contrive to fit in with that empowered state. And in the same way, if you're feeling frightened and confused and then everything's going to fit in with that. So you get to decide what happens around you in that way, the way you experience it. Does that make sense?
Yes, completely. Yes, I understand. Yeah.
Very good, Tina. And thank you for sharing that, because I know there will be others as well. And so did you have any other questions today or targets?
Actually, no, I was just thinking about this because I said, like, okay, yesterday I was afraid of something completely opposite what I'm afraid today. And I don't know what to think anymore. So, yeah.
And when you catch yourself saying, I'm confused, or I don't know what to think, as soon as you catch yourself saying that, switch it immediately, even though you don't feel like it. In other words, I'm so confused with, I'm not confused. I'm never confused. Everything's clear, even though it's not clear.
Yes, kind of. I didn't remember about that because, like, I don't watch news every day. Like, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago I was watching news, but sometimes from internet here and there is a post and it looks like interesting. It's like, I have to know at least a little bit what's going on. So then you're thinking, like, so where is the truth? What is it? Like, I don't know. I have nothing. I never studied any medical about anything like that. So I don't know.
Right. So here's the thing. The one thing that all of us have the potential for, even though it doesn't feel like it sometimes, and sometimes a lot of us don't know about it, but the one thing we do have the potential to do is to affect our own experience of the thing we decide. So It may be dangerous, it may not be dangerous, who knows? If you know, if something is clear, like, you know, if you walk out in front of traffic, the likelihood is you're going to get run over. But with things like this, where you know, people are saying this, other people are saying that, and there isn't a way for you to know offhand without going to university and studying it, then you decide, well, I decide that I am safe always, whether I do this or I do that. I am keeping myself in that superpower state, which means my body is in the best state it can be in. And then I will see, notice opportunities, solutions, and so on. So you know, it's like taking the wheel of the car and going, I'm not going to be a passenger anymore. I am now, because here's the thing, we're all sitting in the driver's seat of our own vehicle, but not all of us are actually driving. We're just letting the car go wherever it goes, but no one else is driving. No one else can drive. We're the only one in the car. So whether we sit and allow the car to just go wherever it goes, or we grab the wheel and go, no, I'm going this way. And
Yeah,
it's taking that
best way.
Yeah, very good. So thank you very much for sharing that, Tina. Good job. Tina, you're first up. How are you today?
I'm very good today.
Good.
My weekend wasn't so good, but I'm very good today.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
And any questions or targets for today?
What I can say, like before the other days, I was scared of mask, not mask, going back to work and all that stuff, confusion and complaining. Like now I feel like I really don't care about it.
Fantastic. Oh, that is
whatever will be. If I get sick, I get sick. If I wear mask, I wear mask. If not, it's not. It's like, it's nothing I can do about it. I cannot control. I can do nothing. It's as how is it? What I can do is just to make myself feel good and safe and do the best what I can. That's it.
That is just amazing. And what a wonderful example, Tina. Well done. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
For anyone watching this or who's on the call who didn't see Friday's call, do watch the recording of that to see what's possible, to see the difference. I
wish to stay like that forever.
Yes. Well, you know, the great news is that every time you achieve this kind of progress, you are leveling up. Every time, just like whenever you are, you know, if you're doing physical exercise, every time you manage to lift a heavier weight, you're building your muscles. So it gets easier and more and faster. So well done. I am so proud of you, Tina. And the other thing to do is to have that as a reference to remember this for future. So in the future, when you think, oh, I don't know if I can do it, remember you've done it, right? And that's for everybody. Good job. I am so excited for you and so proud of you, Tina. You are a fantastic, shiny example. Good job, sweetheart.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.